What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Beyond Base Camp. Today, I'm very excited. We're here with Harrison Burch. Harrison, what's the name of your company?
Rev Leads.
Rev Leads. So you're going to hear some great stuff today. We're going to be talking about the power of video, why you need to be doing it, and he's going to tell you how. All right, so today we want to get right into it. Harrison has a lot to teach us. So, Harrison, give us a little bit of background. Like, how did video come to play such an important role in your life?
Yeah.
Where did this all start for you?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. So this is going to be a really roundabout way to get to this, but I played football my whole life. Went to college, ended up playing a season at Kutztown University, and I decided I was like, I'm not liking the college football vibe. It was a lot, and I ended up tearing my knee all up and all that kind of stuff. So I was kind of like, I'm a transfer, do all that. So I ended up transferring, and I kind of felt like I lost a big part of my identity through that, just because I was like, I've spent the past, 14 years playing football. And a lot of times while I was sitting in bed injured,
Yes.
I was like just watching YouTube videos, and there was a bunch of YouTubers that were shooting with GoPros, and I was like, this is so cool. Like, this is the coolest thing I've ever
That's what
seen.
I want to do.
Yeah, it's like this little tiny camera, and it shoots this awesome footage, and
Right.
you can strap it to yourself, and then what goes along with GoPros, but like awesome adventures. So I ended up picking up a GoPro after I left Kutztown, and ended up transferring to Lancaster Bible College.
Oh, cool.
To major in business administration and biblical studies.
Okay.
Kind of had an idea in my mind that I wanted to do something revolving around like youth camps and stuff, working with at-risk youth, but kind of went in a different direction, more the content side, but
Right.
Still love to do that on the side too.
Right.
And so so I picked up this GoPro, just started filming stuff, editing things in like Windows Movie Maker, like nothing crazy.
Yep.
All
I
the
remember
free,
that.
as cheap and easy as possible.
Right.
And while I was at LBC, a couple of my buddies were like, dude, we're going cliff jumping. And I'm like, that sounds sick. Like, we got to film that. So
Right.
we ended up going to, there was this place called Peace Rock in Hamburg.
I've actually heard of that
Yeah,
place. Know that
dude,
place.
it's
Yep,
wild.
yep.
It's an awesome time. So, and all my buddies, they're throwing gainers off the top and doing backflips and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Right.
And we just filmed it, and we were like, this is super cool. And so we started kind of traveling to different spots just to film these crazy adventures. And kind of along the way, I started kind of building up my video editing skills, my filming, all that kind of stuff. And at the time, one of my buddies was like, hey, I'm working at this place called SRK Cycles. We're a motorcycle dealership. We film YouTube videos. We have 3,000 subscribers.
Okay.
Can you film us a promo? And I'm like, dude, yeah, it sounds awesome. He's like, and we'll pay you. And I'm like, that sounds
Even
better.
better.
Yeah. So I go out, we film this like short little promo video, and they loved it. They were like, this is awesome. And then they were like, hey, can you come back again? We're trying to get an insurance agency on board. Can you shoot us a promo for that too, as like a sponsorship kind of promo?
Yes,
I'm like, dude, no problem. So went out, did that. And I was like, dude, that's so fun. If you can get paid for something you love to do, like, do as much of that as possible.
Yeah,
It's
right.
the
That's
best.
great advice in general.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's awesome.
So at the time, I was working at a youth center for at-risk youth. I graduated college, and we just found out we were pregnant. And I was like, this is awesome, but also super scary, because I'm like, the youth center salary is not going to be able to afford. We didn't have health care, like all that kind of stuff. So I was like, man, this is going to be an interesting time. And literally like 2 weeks into knowing that we were pregnant, I get a text from the owner of SRK Cycles, and he's like, hey man, like, I don't know what you're doing right now, but would you be interested in handling all of our YouTube stuff? And I'm like, dude, that sounds amazing. So talked about it with my wife, obviously, prayed about it. Actually even talked about it with our executive director at the youth center. He's like, dude,
very cool.
Take that job, man. He's like, that sounds phenomenal. So ended up switching over to that.
Being right in line with your passion.
Being right in line with passion. Yeah, I'm like, dude, awesome. So one, I get to film, which is what I really enjoy doing.
Yes.
And two, it's motorcycles. So that's pretty sick.
Right,
So, like,
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. So ended up hopping on with SRK Cycles. And at the time, I think their best month, they did 1.3 million views in a month, which is great.
Okay.
And so they had 90,000 subscribers on SRK Cycles, and about 30-ish thousand, a little over 30,000 on this second channel called Bikes and
Is that when you started? 90,000 subscribers and about 1 million views a month, you said?
Yeah, about a
so
million
they already
views.
have a little something cooking.
A little something, yeah, definitely. Like they're doing decently on YouTube standards at the time, and with those numbers, like they're doing very well.
Would you say, in order to hit those kind of numbers, that they were very committed to video already, or just kind of putting stuff out there and nobody else was? Like, why were they having that success already?
For sure. A lot of it came down to consistency for them in the beginning. They were very consistent. They were very bought in on it. They started getting money off of it. And they were like, ooh, if we just kind of raise this all up, we could probably make significant more money off of this.
Right.
And so they were like, we need to bring somebody in. One of the biggest pain points for for the owner was he hated editing the videos. The filming and the editing were his biggest pain points as an owner of the dealership. So he's like, if I want to focus on anything else, I need to get these two things off my plate, which was a great thing for him to realize in himself, but also to then go along and find somebody to do that. So my buddy was like, hey, you should come in and like kind of interview, but it's super informal. Like we already kind of had a relationship at that point. So when I joined with them, 90,000 subscribers on the SRK Cycles channel. Okay. They started a side channel. So SRK Cycles was like the test drives and kind of, if you're going to buy your first motorcycle, you're going to the SRK Cycles channel.
Gotcha.
The Bikes and Beards channel was like the behind the scenes of the dealership, a lot more entertainment, almost like reality TV-ish.
Yeah. But they were producing that already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at a very small scale. They were kind of like very sporadic, not super consistent.
Okay.
On the Bikes and Beards side. SRK Cycle side, they were pretty consistent on.
Okay.
But
I have some questions on that. So, because I think our viewers and our listeners are at all different stages of their business, right? Yep. So some just starting. We have very large clients that are well down this road. Yeah. But what did consistency look like? So if you're talking to someone who's like, I know I need to put myself out there. Yeah. What does consistency look like when it comes to video? Or maybe you can feel free to broaden it to social media, whatever. Yeah.
So I would say definitely. This is the thing I tell everybody. So when you're starting out, everybody needs to be on online video. It's free. Like literally, you can pull your phone out right now, film something, throw it up. Yeah. Like it's free marketing. Right. So you should 100% be doing that. And I think a lot of businesses have learned that since COVID. But we were way ahead of that curve at the time. But I would say definitely be posting stuff. It doesn't have to be perfect. I tell everybody 80% is 100% when it comes to online video. I like
that. That's good. That's good. That's a good takeaway right there. That's one. 80% is 100%. Yeah. If you try and make it perfect, it's probably go crazy, right?
You're going to spend an extra 3 days and you're getting no value off of it.
Yeah, that's really important what he just said right there. We found that to be true. 100%.
Yeah, literally, probably in everything, but I know especially in online video, 80% is 100%.
Yeah, you're right. It's probably true in all of life. Yeah, but good point.
So definitely, I would say definitely be posting stuff on social media. And a lot of people are like, what kind of camera do I get? Like, I know I need to get some crazy camera. I'm like, dude, pull out your iPhone and just film on that.
Yes.
Until you build some consistency, and then if you're trying to take that next step, I would say a GoPro, honestly, because and not because they shoot this amazing video, but more you get this crazy variation of shots. You can have one mounted onto your head, onto your chest.
Gotcha.
You can suction cup it to your car. Like you get all these different variation shots off of a GoPro, that you can't really get on any other camera. You can kind of get it a little bit with a phone, but it's a lot more hassle and headache and stuff. But so I would say definitely start with the simplest option. Start with your phone, edit it on the simplest option, which is probably going to be either something on your phone. Windows Movie Maker, Filmora is a great computer app. It's super cheap, and you can make a very professional looking video on Filmora.
We will, just for the record, we'll include some of these links in the comments and everything. So
cool.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. So so definitely once you've kind of you've established, all right, I need to be on YouTube or Facebook video. Facebook video is a great second option.
What do you recommend? Is YouTube just number one and start there? Don't worry about anything else?
Yeah, so I would say it kind of depends.
Okay.
YouTube is very, very organic driven. Yeah. And if you don't know what you're necessarily doing on the back end of it, you're probably not going to see a lot of success. A shortcut to that is if you shoot shorts and put it on YouTube, you can usually see some pretty good success off of those.
Shorts, okay.
Yeah, shorts, which is nice because you put it on YouTube, and the same thing goes on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah, I was just going to ask if it cross. Yeah. Now, do you this is kind of in the weeds, but do you cross promote that, or is there almost like a Hootsuite type component where you post it once and that takes care of it?
Yeah, so don't do Hootsuite on YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube will actually recognize that it's coming from like a third party kind of,
Yes.
and they won't push it as hard because they know it's just like somebody mass uploading things.
Got it.
I don't know about it for Facebook, but I know on YouTube definitely don't do that.
So singularly, you post to each media outlet.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
On Facebook video is a great option, especially for businesses that probably are trying to get into stuff and don't necessarily know 100% what they're doing on the back end.
Yes.
Because you can post a video to Facebook and then boost the post. So you can kind of get that, like, you can kind of pay for your views if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
YouTube, you can't. If it's actually against terms of service, if you pay for views or subscribers on YouTube. So you really have to be careful with that on YouTube. On Facebook, you can kind of hack the system a little bit.
Yeah.
A bunch of the channels that I work with on YouTube, we'll start dropping stuff on Facebook as secondary because we already have the videos shot and stuff. And then we'll boost those posts so we can get enough followers and views to monetize Facebook.
Right.
Also.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one question that people have asked me on the marketing side a lot is like, what comes first? Mm-hmm. Kind of like the chicken or the egg question. Is it the content creation has to lead all of this?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be crazy. I would say literally pulling out your phone and showing what like a day in the life of your work looks like, or like kind of anything. You want to keep it very natural and very kind of like real. Like you don't want to fake stuff. You want it just to seem like you're talking to your best friend.
Yep.
When you're talking on video.
Yeah.
And a lot of creators get stuck in this mindset of like, it needs to be Hollywood. It needs to have like this whole entire directive and stuff like that.
Right.
Like you will have really, really good success if you're just being as real as possible on
Right.
video.
Yeah.
And then posting, once you do that, edit it up, keep it kind of short. I say minimum 8 minutes on YouTube.
Minimum 8.
Minimum 8.
That's important too, and I'm sure that's for some sort of algorithm, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So 8 minutes on YouTube, you can put multiple ads inside the video. Over 10 minutes, you can put multiple ads inside the video and a ad in the beginning and the end.
Yes.
And so at the very beginning, you're not going to be getting any of that money off those ads, but YouTube will still put ads in your video.
Okay.
And so if they can put, the more ads they can put in your video, the more they're going to push it. Like their whole business is making revenue.
right. Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. So do they prefer long form?
Yeah.
Like seriously, would they want a 45-minute video if you had that?
Yeah, if it moves quickly. If it's 45 minutes of you painting a wall, probably not.
Yeah,
but
yeah, fair. It's something that people will watch for 40, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Case in point, the one channel that I work with right now, we're dropping 45-minute long videos, but we're getting 40 to 50% retention on that.
Right.
So YouTube loves that. They're like, this is amazing. And you make significantly more money on a 45-minute video than on a 10-minute video. Facebook kind of wants a little bit shorter. They're usually, I think it's 6 minutes for multiple ads, something in that range. But it's kind of weird because like even TikTok, like everything, when you go to like the short form content, which is like the vertical short form, your TikTok, your Reels, your YouTube Shorts, that kind of stuff, they want you to have it.
I'm going to pause right there. Yeah. When you say vertical, you're what he means is iPhone is just vertical up
holding
and down.
It,
it's not
not
video,
horizontal.
Right?
Yeah.
So I just want people to know that, just in case they were like, go vertical. What do you mean?
Yeah. So for long form content on YouTube and Facebook, you're going to be wanting to shoot horizontal. For short form on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikTok, you want to be shooting vertical.
Okay.
So
in the weeds question for you on that very specifically, is there a platform where you can take long form video, snippet it out? Because a lot of our folks are saying like it's a time issue a lot of times between editing and all this, but take snips, let's say, of a long form and turn it so that it looks vertical. Like, is that a platform that can do that for you easily?
Yeah.
That you know of?
So easily, kind of.
Yeah.
But
right. That's a.
Yeah. You can definitely do it. If you're going to do that, if you're going to shoot content for that, and you're like, I want to shoot the same kind of content. Like whatever I shoot horizontal, I want to be able to cut clips from that.
Right.
Make sure you're as wide as possible, like your shot's wide, because if you have it too, like the shot's too tight on horizontal, and then you go to crop in and do it vertical, it's going to be way too close. So my one tip is if you have an iPhone, just switch it to wide mode. Like switch to wide
That's
mode.
great.
And then
really practical
film yourself
advice. That's
on
what
that.
we look for.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, definitely going back, I would say if you're going to do YouTube, definitely do YouTube. You're not going to see a lot of success on the long form content in the beginning.
Right.
Shorts you will. Facebook is great just because you probably already have a business page. So you probably already you're already like 80% there.
Yeah.
Just start posting videos onto there, and people, at least your clients and stuff, other people in your space will see, oh man, like this guy, he's posting a video once or twice a week, just on his phone, just kind of showing like the dirt and grime that we're dealing with.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if you're in like real estate or something like that. Show the houses you're walking into and kind of like what the feel is when you walk in. That can save your clients honestly a ton of time just by seeing like, oh, he walked in and there's like this weird door right there, which I didn't see in the pictures. Yeah, okay, I don't have to look at that house. And you're saving time and honestly money for your clients just by showing them those little things. And it's kind of giving you some character and showing that you're a real person.
Absolutely,
and stuff like that.
And they're getting a sense of just how you operate, just by what you're pointing out, how you talk, the rate of speed, like really basic things that I've run into people where there's almost a relational, I don't know, like a little bit of relational trust is built already because they feel like they know you from having seen certain things.
Yeah, it's super weird, especially when you get to like a certain level. I know it happened a lot it happens at really every channel I work with. But it's funny because you'll have an audience, like somebody from the audience or one of your fans walk in, and if I see Will Smith walking out in public, I'm like, holy cow, that's Will Smith.
Right.
Probably not running up to him like, hey, how's your life going? Stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
Probably be a little weird. Maybe try to get a picture with him, but that's kind of it. Dude, you see your YouTuber, like your favorite YouTuber or content creator or something like that out in public, you'll run up to them like, oh my gosh, how's the family and all this stuff, because you feel like you've built this relationship with them because you've watched them for so many years and they've shown you all of these behind the scenes parts of their life.
Right.
And so it's really funny. Like a lot of times people will come in and be like, oh my gosh, it's so-and-so. And you're like, hey, how's it going? And they never tell you their name.
Right.
Because they think they've already built this relationship with you. You should already know their name.
Yeah.
And you don't. So
Right,
it's really funny, but it's something very unique in the content, like influencer space, that it is really cool opportunity that you get to really build relationships with people.
Right.
And like it really is, I hate to say it, but it's like the best part of some people's day. Some people are going through depression or something like that, and you're being very genuine and raw on camera, and you're like, hey, I'm going through this and this, and they're like, oh my gosh, I connect with that because I'm going through something similar.
Right.
So it's really cool. Like you don't really get that a lot in traditional media and like your TV shows and stuff. It's a lot more
produced.
Drama and produced and stuff. So.
Well, so when you say words like influencer and content creator, I think I just picture some of our clients, listeners, viewers, kind of recoiling like, oh, I'm not a content creator, I'm not a influencer.
Yeah.
And it really speaks to who they are, just like they're humbly getting the job done. They got their head down, and that's why they're so successful in what they're doing. And it's been really neat to watch some of our clients evolve over the years. Yeah. So what would you say to somebody who doesn't fancy themselves a creator, and has no real intent to be? Like they do kind of want to be under the radar or something like that. But why I ask that is because one of our clients that is now implementing video, we do a lot of manufacturing, right, on the insurance side of things, and all they're doing is kind of taking like close-up videos of all the stuff that they just do. Yeah. And I guess it's like visually calming to people. Yeah. And so they started it to be more on the radar. Yeah. Now there's a monetization component that's starting to happen. Yeah. So if you can talk, there's three kind of questions in that. Someone who doesn't fancy themselves an influencer, and then going from how do I get myself out there for the purpose of ROI in the business? Yeah. And then even touching on the monetary side of what can come from, I'm going to ask you about one of your clients, the crabber. We'll talk about that. So maybe we'll say that for that part. But the first two anyway. I don't think I'm a content creator. Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, everyone starts as not a content creator. Right. Like you don't automatically, you're like, I'm a content creator. Well, you can... Yeah, you can be a content creator pretty quickly. You can't be an influencer very quickly. Yeah, because right. Yeah, good point. You can. I could be producing content every minute, and if no one's watching it, probably not an influencer because I don't have much influence. Right. But yeah, I would say it. You kind of almost have to get yourself out of the idea of like, I have to be one of these. Right. It doesn't. You could literally just be doing it for your clients and just being like, hey,
I'm just trying to get face-to-face interaction with my clients.
Yeah.
And instead of just calling them every single day, I'm just going to put up a video and they can watch the video and feel like they're still engaged.
Right.
And so that kind of, does that kind of answer that first?
It does. How do you alert them that you've posted this video?
So on YouTube, you can subscribe, click notifications.
Yeah.
If you subscribe and don't click notifications, you're not going to get a notification that somebody's posted. But if you do click that, that's an easy way to do it. If you follow someone on Facebook, like their page, all that kind of stuff,
right,
you'll get, when you're scrolling through your timeline, you'll see that pop up.
Right.
So as a viewer, if you want to see what other content they're kind of putting out, that would be the easiest way to do it.
Okay, and then what about if you're, a dentist and you're going to start doing this? How do you let your clients know so that they can make the choice if they'd like to subscribe and get notifications?
For
and
sure.
Everything? Yeah.
Email list.
Yep,
if you have an email list,
just let them know.
Email lists are golden.
Okay.
It's already your target audience and stuff like that. And if they're coming to you, they're probably at least going to watch a couple of videos and be like, "Oh, I wonder what they're showing behind the scenes."
Yes.
But definitely email list is easiest. Post about it on Facebook. Share it. You share it. A little side note is, if you're sharing stuff to your personal Facebook, let's say you're trying to start, you're starting you want to start doing day in the life for Element.
Sure.
And your target customer is somebody that's in the business world. Okay. Mm-hmm. Don't post it on your personal Facebook, because
totally agree.
You'll get this whole weird, all these different data points will come in, and it'll be like, well, my mom likes cats and dogs, and Billy Bob over here likes motorcycle. It's just too much weird data.
Right.
And when YouTube sees all these different weird data points of different viewers coming in, they have no idea who to share it to. And so it won't go anywhere.
That's great. That's a really tangible piece of feedback right there, or advice, because we do get that question all the time. Hey, I'm going to start with my phone. I'll just post it to my personal.
Yeah.
But you won't have data integrity on your results if you do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so going back a step, you do have to make sure you have all your business accounts set up, and then post appropriately within them. And I think your personal connections on these channels probably will appreciate that too.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. And also, one of our things that we kind of do to kind of hack that system a little bit, if you find Facebook or Reddit groups that are of like-minded people, we will share the videos into that. And so then when those people click on the videos, it's telling YouTube, hey, all these people have the same thing in common. Push it to a like-minded group of viewers, of potential viewers.
Another piece of fantastic practical advice. That's good. That is like a hack almost.
For sure, yeah. I know one of the channels that I work with, he's posting it to 50 to 100 groups. He spends literally almost the entire day just throwing it in groups that are of the like-minded content.
Yeah, absolutely.
And obviously when you're doing that, don't make it robotic. Don't just post a link in. Post a little paragraph that clearly sounds like it's from a person.
Right, yeah.
Don't be watch this video. Make it hey, I saw this video online, thought it was really cool. Here's some of the takeaways I had from it. If you guys want to check it out, click on this link. Yeah.
Very cool. I love that. That's fantastic. So that person that's doing that's a good kind of segue. If we can talk about the name of the company that rehabs airplanes.
Mm-hmm. Rebuild Rescue.
Okay, Rebuild Rescue. So for them, did all of this start for the sake of building their business or for the sake of monetizing a YouTube channel?
I think it started from... I think it was a little bit of hey, this is a cool thing. Now, the owner of Jason's the owner of Rebuild Rescue.
Okay.
Super awesome guy. He was friends with us when we were at SRK Cycles, and has a very successful, kind of more on the auto side. Mr. Dent is what it's called.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So he owns Mr. Dent, and all the stuff that goes around with that. They're painless dent repair. They're really good.
Yeah.
Also, so if you
unfortunately we do have auto claims insurance. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm familiar with them more than I should be. Probably.
Yeah. So he does that. Does importing for cars. Does some stuff with auctions. Very, very good business guy all around in the automobile space.
Yes.
And so he would come over and hang out with us a lot at SRK Cycles, and he was like, dude, I want to start a channel. And started meeting with me about a year prior to starting a channel. It was just kind of super casual. We'd get breakfast, talk YouTube theory stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I really just want to bring things back from the dead. So whether it's a car, a motorcycle, an RV, an airplane, whatever.
Yes.
Let's just, that's kind of what he was like, that sounds really fun. I was like, dude, awesome. So we kind of devised a little plan, and he started dropping videos. And within 4 months, he had 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is when you can get monetized.
Okay.
Which is awesome. Like that's honestly pretty quick. Usually we say 6 to 9 months if you know what you're doing and you have a lot of back end knowledge.
Yes.
We've gotten it down. Some channels we've started, I think the lowest we've had was 72 days. We hit 1,000 subscribers, but typically 6 to 9 months.
You started a channel from the ground.
From the ground, no outside,
days.
no outside push at all. Like just. Yeah.
So was it highly targeted, highly specific, or
highly targeting? We knew what videos would get clicks.
Okay.
Really what it came
all right.
down
There
to.
you go.
Yeah.
So get highly focused. That's another really pick one thing of what you do maybe to start.
Exactly.
Right.
Not
Not everything on the website.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So Rebuild Rescue starts the channel. 4 months hits 1,000 subscribers. And then some stuff on his automobile business side was kind of taking a little bit more of his focus. So he was like a little bit sporadic and kind of trickled his way up to like 2,500 subscribers.
Okay.
I want to say it probably was like 5-ish months at that point. And he's like, dude, so I'm taking flying lessons and there's this abandoned plane at the end of the runway that sat there for like 15 years. He's like, and I think I can get it for free. He's like, walk me through what this video is going to look like.
Right.
So we're shooting each other back title ideas, thumbnails, how the content's going to look, what the flow of it's going to look, all that kind of stuff. And he ends up dropping this video, and he drops it on Christmas Eve. And it takes his channel from 2,500 subscribers to 125,000 in a week. And then basically a month after that, he was sitting at, 300,000 subscribers. And at this point now it's up to like 700,000. So
it's unbelievable.
Yeah. So
that's
really
what
good.
I think people forget is the scale of where these things can go and how fast they can go.
Yeah.
And not everything has to go viral either. Like I don't think technically that would be viral.
Yeah.
But yet it is
Yeah.
functionally for your business and getting the word out.
Yeah.
We had one of our first clients that really started to adopt this, again, manufacturing space. They just recorded one of their folks making the way they construct chicken coops.
Yeah.
And something about that video, and they've made tens of thousands of dollars off this video. And it wasn't why they shot it.
Yeah.
They shot it to get their name out there as a business. Like, hey, we make and sell chicken coops.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, now they're now monetizing that. 1.3 million views, I think, in the first 45 days somehow.
Dude, yeah, that's killer.
And that equated to like $13,000 or some craziness. And now, just trying to see if they can make lightning strike twice.
Exactly. You kind of get thrown into it a little bit.
Yeah.
And definitely one of the hardest things about going viral is sometimes it can get you stuck in that space. So like we tell people all the time, we're like, sometimes going viral is more of a curse than a blessing.
Yes.
Because all of these viewers came in because they saw this airplane, and it wasn't because of us. It was because they were like, this is such a crazy concept that somebody's going to get an airplane for free if they can get it to start. Like, I have to watch this.
Oh, cool. It had like a gamification inside the video.
Yeah, that was a killer. Like Jason came up with this killer idea of like, hey, like the guy was
good.
like, hey man, if you can get it to start, I'll give it to you for free.
Right.
And he's like, this is amazing.
Right.
And so, and so for, I want to say it was like 6 episodes of trying to get it to start. This thing was rough, dude. If you guys want to see it, go to Rebuild Rescue on YouTube, and it is literally the roughest looking plane. It was more of a bird's nest than a plane when we first tried to get it to start. Dude, I mean, he got it to start. He was dumping all sorts of stuff in the gas tank and in the cylinders, jet fuel, diesel fuel, all sorts of just random stuff, trying to get it to get unseized. And he made both the engines start. So I think that was a miracle.
But, But when I hear that too, like, these are the we're getting stuck in talking about the home runs, and what I heard you say at the beginning is like, just be on the field and play. You know? Small ball, singles, doubles, like
I don't think like none of us planned for that video to go crazy viral. We're like, this is a great video concept.
And you don't have to have a crazy story. Getting a plane for free is a pretty outlandish.
No, that is a crazy story.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
You can have just a day in the life or something like that. A little quick fire thing, if we can do it, just to get our viewers' brains pumping. I just want to test you on this. So. So I'm a restaurant. What would you recommend? What's a couple quick video concepts that I could do? Just
for
like
a
real
restaurant?
quick. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say definitely. There's a couple guys. I think his name's Dylan LeMay. He does like ice cream things where he like tosses ice cream up and does all these things.
Yeah.
And it's all from his point of view. There's guys that do it for Subway. There's guys that do it all McDonald's.
Yes.
And like, I've never thought I wanted to see how McDonald's hamburgers were made. Like, I probably thought I'd definitely never want to see that. But they've done a really good job of just like point of view. Here's us working on making this thing.
Yeah.
So that's a really good.
If you're a restaurant, and you're a chef, boom, here, just try that.
Show what you're making.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
For short form, because also that does very well on short form platforms.
Okay.
Seeing that kind of behind the scenes stuff. Long form wise, probably more of like the business of the actual restaurant. Maybe some of the numbers, like, hey, this is flour. This is how much this costs. We made this whole pizza. It costs us this much money. We sell it for this much. Things like that. You could also do obviously recipes.
Yeah, perfect.
There's a couple YouTubers that do. Basically, they try to recreate other restaurant stuff.
Oh,
so
cool.
like making like Joshua Weissman's like the king of this. He'll do making the Chick-fil-A sandwich but better.
Right.
And so like he'll kind of break it down, and he's like used to be like a 5-star chef. I guess he's still a 5-star chef.
Yeah,
but
right.
Kind of putting all these cool flares into a Chick-fil-A sandwich, and it's like way crispier and all that. So
cool.
Yeah.
So like playing off of what's happening maybe in pop culture and applying
For sure.
it to yours. Okay,
For sure.
got another one. I'm trying to think of random ones. Chiropractor.
Ooh. Okay. I saw this recently, and I don't know how legit this is, but there's a guy that's a dog chiropractor. Have you seen
I've
this
actually
guy?
seen this guy.
Yeah, I'm like, that was genius.
Now you're hitting pet market and
you're hitting chiropractor,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm watching all these, and I'm like, holy cow, I never even knew this was a thing. I don't even know if it is a thing. It might be some sketchy thing that you're probably not supposed to do, but it's cool to watch on social media. But yeah, I would show just like maybe before and after, if you can show like a spine or something like that, and then you're like with 2 weeks of readjustments, now it's straight.
Right.
And if you can actually visually show that,
Yes.
that's killer. Like that kind of thing. Also, probably just having people come through and be like, yeah, like I'm really struggling with back pain. What do you do? And they're like, crack, crack, crack. And you kind of get that ASMR of like hearing the body crack.
For sure. I've actually seen some of those. All right. And then one where I hear a lot of our clients will be like, I don't have, so something in like an office, an accounting firm. Oh, now I'm really going to get creative.
Dude, so accounting firm, I would be talking to people about where they can be saving on taxes.
Right.
Yeah, so like shorts especially. Dude, I love the shorts where I'm always sending it to like my financial advisor and to my accountant. I'm like, is this legit? And they're like, yeah, that actually is legit. And it's just from accounts that go on. They're like, hey, you probably didn't know this, but because of tax code, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
This is what it means. And here's how you can save money. People love to save money. So that if you're an accounting firm, you need to be doing stuff like that, because tax code's always changing. And like, I don't know, like I'm not going to be able to understand any of that stuff. And even if I'm not using them as a tax firm, like I'm going to ask my accountant about that. And if he's like, I don't really know about that, it's probably going to throw some red flags. And I'm going to be like, well, let me go to the accounting firm that literally said I can do this because of this tax code. Let me hit them up instead.
Right. That's good. That's really good. As you can tell, he lives and breathes this stuff. So these are coming off the top of his head. But I think the important thing in there is whatever you do, don't take for granted your expertise.
For sure.
There are things that just waking up in the morning because you've been doing it for 20 years that somebody else doesn't, and someone else would appreciate knowing and want to hear from you, especially in that accounting firm. Those are very trusted relationships.
Yeah.
They want to hear. You actually mentioned it. When you see it from someone else, you send it to your person.
Yeah.
Is this true? Because you trust your person. So if they're telling it to you, you're going to trust what they say.
100%. And something you can do, if you're in a space and you're like, there's no way there's somebody else doing something like this, one, go onto YouTube and start looking for it. Find like 5 to 10 channels. Go click on their videos. Then there's a popular button at the top, like left corner of where all the videos are. Click on popular and look at their top 10 videos, and do that for 5 to 10 channels, looking at the top 10 videos on each channel, and just start comparing them, because you'll start seeing patterns where you're like, okay, this channel did a video that's this channel did a video that's this. They're the same topic,
right?
So I should probably do a video like that too.
Yeah, that's good.
There's a guy, Legal Eagle, that does it. I don't know if you've seen his stuff. Yeah,
seen the stuff,
but he breaks down like videos and stuff. Like that's, I mean, he's a lawyer. Like sometimes you're like, what the heck could a lawyer do? He just started breaking down like law stuff out of movies, and it's killer content. Like I watch that stuff all the time. I'm like, that's
his hook.
Yeah,
right?
it's his hook. Yeah.
All right, and then something that we get asked about a lot, because obviously in the banner or under the banner of risk management, a lot of times people think about insurance and your building burning down and and we're like, well, what about the future of your business?
Yeah.
What are you doing to attract new clients? All this kind of thing. So if you can, talk for us a little bit about just the ROI of all of this, not the monetization, but just the ROI for the business and what you see business owners get when they commit to video.
Yeah, for sure. So, so not talking about the monetization side, there's a lot of money that can be made on all this stuff through brand deals, sponsorships, all that kind of thing.
On that point, we are going to give Harrison's info at the end. So he, for time's sake, we'll save that, and they can contact you directly on either front of this. So just want you to know, you're going to get his contact info and some of these other links we've talked about.
Cool. Yeah. Honestly, like, let's use real estate as an example. Every real estate agent should be posting videos.
Yeah.
Like, it drives me nuts when I see real estate agents not posting videos. I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
Because
they're walking around getting content all day.
Your whole job is visual. You're showing somebody this massive product that's a visual thing. And why aren't you just doing that on video? And then instead of it being like, all right, yeah, let's go tour all these things, be like, hey, let me show you, here's some of the videos. I actually did a walkthrough of that. And some of those might just be like, hey, I can cross that off my list, or that's a house I definitely want to see. Mm-hmm. And so just from that, also if people are searching for a certain address, we actually just bought a house and we're closing at the end of this month. But so if I'm going and if I'm going to go look at a bunch of houses and I'm searching the addresses on Google, it will pop up because YouTube's owned by Google. Right. It will pop up with the video of that address. And so then I could be like, oh, I could actually see inside this house before I see inside this house in person. Click on it and be like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I don't want to see that. Cross it off your list. Or you can be like, dude, that's literally exactly what we've been looking for. We need to go see that house sooner. Something like that. So
in real estate, I think it makes sense because those are big ticket items. Items, what about for somebody that might be selling things that are, $100 each, or a clothier that's $50 average ticket? Some of those kinds of things. Are they seeing a direct financial benefit for the time? Because that, for most entrepreneurs, that's it. Does the time that I invest in this come back in a way that serves this organization, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I would say there's two things you get out of it. You get one, you're seen as the professional in that space, which is there's some money to be put on that. You're definitely going to see ROI. It's different for everybody. I can't say if you do one video, it's going to equate to this percentage of whatever.
True of any marketing, right? It's an aggregate that it starts working.
For sure, yeah. But if you do that enough, you're going to start having people come to you because they're like, I'm seeing this guy everywhere. I'm seeing videos of this guy. He's popping up on Facebook. This guy knows what he's talking about.
Yes.
And just because they're the ones telling it to you, and you're only seeing it from that person. Insurance is a great example. If you're doing videos constantly talking about insurance and maybe some of the claims you've had, and we walked into this and we saw that they had a catastrophic fire and we were able to get them this amount of money this quickly.
Yeah.
People are going to see that and be like, oh my gosh, that was a very stressful situation and they made it very not stressful. I need to call them.
Right.
So you're going to get it from that side, from the client acquisition point. But then also building connections is really where you're going to start seeing some stuff. So if you're a young real estate agent and you're posting videos everywhere, you're going to build connections with people that you would never have access to.
Right.
There's a big time YouTuber named Ben Mala, does commercial real estate down in Florida, and crushes it. And dude, he's getting access to a lot of people that I'm sure he could get access to, but it would have been a lot more of I got to contact this person and then this person. And
Does this guy have a beard by any chance?
He's like a really heavy set guy from New York and moved down to
no beard.
Clearwater, Florida.
Okay. The only reason I asked that is because somebody mentioned somebody like that to us recently because we do a lot of commercial real estate. No, not Grant. No. No, we do not talk to Grant Cardone one-to-one. We're still very small time.
I wasn't sure if you were talking about content creators that have beards and are in real estate.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, but just the a friend of a friend connected us, and so we were talking, and they were saying exactly that the doors that have opened. He's a commercial real estate, but mortgage lenders, big commercial roofing companies are reaching out to him to do branding deals. Yeah, all sorts of stuff. They want to advertise on his channel now, and he did it just for informational purposes because he was young. And he said, I looked so young that no one would trust me buying a big $1 million commercial building, multi-million dollar. And that's where it came from. And he's like, it almost it almost has taken on a life of its own, and he does not generate leads outside of this. He does not have to.
For
It's
sure.
all become inbound referral, but it's referral connected to his video content.
100%. And that's you said how young he is, and he's like, nobody wants to trust this young guy doing this. And so doing content creation, doing online video, all that kind
Closes
of stuff
that gap.
closes that gap.
Yeah.
People understand who you are. They're like, this guy is very honest. He's telling me all these behind the scenes things that people don't want to know about.
Yeah.
At SRK Cycles, we were going to auctions and showing people what we were buying the motorcycles for at auction. And then we put them up on our website for $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 more.
Same bike, not
Same
really
bike.
doing anything to it?
Yeah, sometimes we'd have to fix it up or whatever.
Clean the
But
carb, whatever.
yeah, but people were like, "Oh my gosh, they're being so transparent. They're telling me what they bought the bike for." Like,
Wow.
And dude, we couldn't keep bikes in our warehouse. Like, we would have 50 bikes in our warehouse. Next month, 50 completely different bikes.
Right.
Because people trusted us. They're like, "Hey, one, they know they're like they're not making this crazy amount of money on these bikes."
Yeah.
But also they're like, we saw a video of what happened when one of the bikes blew up, and instead of them being like, well, sucks to suck, like
Right.
it was an as is or whatever, it was a used bike, they're like going out there picking up the bike, they're getting it fixed for them for free, like, and we're going the extra
And you're also
step.
videotaping all that and
Videoing
then
it all.
telling that
And
story
it's content,
to the, yeah, right.
And then you get the monetization off that video, and
Right.
then you have a brand deal going with it. Like, it all just compounds
Yes.
greatly. Something that Jason's really good at. I always tell him, I'm like, dude, you could have a second life as a PR guy.
Yeah.
He spins everything as like it's a positive, which is a
Right.
really great trait
Yeah,
to have.
yeah, yeah.
It's never like,
Well, it's transparent. If you have a bad thing happen to a customer and
Yeah.
you tell that story, and then how you were able to come around at the end and
Yeah.
revive it or whatever.
100%. And it's super cool because like we'll completely screw something up on an airplane, and he spins it as like, we're just learning from it, and this is
Right.
making us better, and now we know it's definitely done the right way. Like, it's really cool. But
Yeah.
he's done a great job getting these massive companies, like avionics for airplanes. You're talking $50 to
Oh my gosh, yeah,
$100,000.
absolutely.
Like,
One of our clients just redid his.
yeah,
Yep.
it's crazy.
Oh
It's
my
super
goodness.
expensive. But he's built these great relationships with them, and they'll send us free product. Like, and so instead of us having to shell out some of that stuff, they'll be like, "Hey, we want to sponsor this. We believe in what you guys are doing.
Right.
Can we get on board with that?" And it's like awesome. And so some of them give it to you for free. Some of them give you a hefty discount.
Right.
Some of them are just like, "Hey, like we would love to help you install whatever." Like, it's really cool, the relationships that can be built from just being on YouTube or Facebook or all that kind of stuff.
That's awesome, man. All right. Well, in the interest of time, here at Element Risk, it's insurance for the doers. This man right here is a doer, and he can help you take whatever you're doing and really elevate it and help you tell your stories. So, Harrison, do you mind sharing your info that you feel comfortable sharing? How did they get a hold of you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The easiest thing is go on to getrevleads.com. That's kind of like it's like a little side thing we kind of started up just because we have a bunch of people that need help with YouTube.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And his story is very cool. You heard that, a side thing that just started up. A lot of our viewers and listeners are entrepreneurs that they just started.
Yeah.
That was it. They just started, and then
Yeah.
it took on a life of its own. And Get Rev Leads has been that for you.
Yep.
And it's awesome to get to see where this journey's taking you.
Yeah.
And man, this conversation reminds me of why we engaged with you in the first place.
Yeah.
So anyway, fun
Cool.
having you here, man. Thank
Dude,
you
definitely.
so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you got it.
Been
Appreciate
fun.
you.
Cool, man.
All right.